It's been a pulsating first half of the 2023-24 Premier League season, with storylines appearing across the division from a cutthroat relegation battle to a tight title race at the top. And with every side in the league having played at least half of their matches, what better time to grade each club on their season so far? That's exactly what we've done, ranking each and every Premier League side's season up until now using 5 different categories. Kicking things off with the sides that haven't had the best time of things, 4 clubs fall into the absolutely awful section of this list. There's no surprise to see 3 relegation candidates in this section, with promoted duo Burnley and Sheffield United joined by Nottingham Forest. Forest had been hoping to kick on from their maiden season in the Premier League, where they survived with room to spare, but that didn't prove to be the case, with the Nottingham-based outfit sacking manager Steve Cooper and replacing him with Nuno Espirito Santo. However, the 4th pick for this section might come as somewhat of a surprise, as Chelsea fall into the absolutely awful category too. That's because things haven't gone to plan for new boss Mauricio Pochettino, with his start to life at Stamford Bridge having been mixed so far. But it's in the next 2 categories where the majority of clubs find themselves, starting with room for improvement. The likes of Crystal Palace, Brentford and Premier League newbies Luton Town all find themselves here, with relegation still a possibility for the trio in 2023, as the 2 sides who competed in Europe this season, with Brighton and Newcastle United believed to be performing below par. Newcastle are in the midst of a torrid run, having won 1 match away from home all season, and hopes of qualifying for continental competition next year are hanging by a thread, making the leap up to the decent section now, where 5 clubs have been adjudged to have a strong enough start to the season. One of those are the reigning champions Manchester City, who, despite being tipped to go on and lift another Premier League title this season, things haven't necessarily gone to plan for Pep Guardiola's side. That's the same for their Mancunian neighbours Manchester United, whose patchy form has seen the pressure piled onto the shoulders of manager Erik ten Hag. Also coming in at this stage are Fulham, alongside Bournemouth and Wolves, with the latter pair having been tipped for relegation during pre-season, but are now eyeing up a top half finish. But what about those teams who have had a great first half of the season? We think there are 4 that fall into that category. They include North London duo Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur, with the pair in the mix for a top 4 finish and perhaps even a title challenge. Sticking in the capital, West Ham United fall into that category too, with David Moyes' side once again in the mix for a European finish. Whilst Everton, who would have been in and around mid-table if it wasn't for their 10-point deduction, also make the jump into this section. And, well, that leaves just 2 clubs left, and the 2 sides who have both had an outstanding 2023-24 so far. One being league leaders Liverpool, who 4 years after their last Premier League title win are once again in the mix for the title. Alongside them are the surprise package from this season so far, and arguably the side that will be happiest at the halfway stage, Aston Villa. Unai Emery's side have a solid shot at finishing inside the top 4 positions in the Premier League, which would mean qualification for the Champions League for the first time in the club's history.